Hey everyone, welcome back. Here's something you probably didn't expect. At the end of August, a trade rule that's been around for almost 100 years quietly disappeared, and now it's turning online shopping, small businesses, and even international shipping upside down. And here's the kicker. If the courts rule against the government, there's a chance up to $1 trillion in refunds could be on the line. Yeah, trillion with a T. Let's unpack this, because it's one of those policy shifts that looks boring at first, but actually affects your everyday life. So here's the deal. For decades, the US had something called the de minimis exemption. What it meant was simple. If you ordered something from overseas that was under $800 in value, you didn't have to pay tariffs or deal with customs headaches. It was the rule that made online shopping from foreign sellers easy. Most people didn't even know this exemption existed, but they benefited from it every time they ordered a book from Europe, a gadget from Asia, or a fashion item from abroad. But recently, that exemption just ended. Suddenly, even if you order something small, it's subject to tariffs. And the results? Pretty shocking. One small business owner in New York ordered a vintage computer part worth $750, and UPS hit him with a tariff bill for over $1,400. Later they corrected it to $110, but by then he had already refused the shipment, and he still got charged $50 for sending it back. Another guy in California ordered a $300 computer case from Sweden and was told he owed $620 in tariffs. That's more than double the cost of the item. And in Florida, a couple running a handbag boutique got slapped with a $1,000 tariff bill on a $600 shipment. For small businesses like theirs, fees like that can wipe out profits completely. And it's not just a handful of cases. On a bigger scale, international shipments to the US dropped by over 80% literally overnight. Some foreign postal services stopped shipping to the US altogether because they didn't have the systems to handle these new tariff rules. Imagine going online to order something from Japan or Switzerland and being told, "Sorry, we can't ship to you anymore." That's now a reality for many shoppers. So why did Trump's administration push for this change? The official line is that the old rule was being abused. Counterfeit products, narcotics, and even dangerous goods were slipping in under the exemption. And beyond that, the administration says it's about protecting American workers and manufacturers, making sure foreign sellers don't get an unfair advantage. Customs and Border Protection argued that carriers and postal operators were given plenty of time to prepare, and they've called this a long overdue fix. But here's where things get messy. Two federal courts have already said the way this rule was changed may not have been legal. Trump's team used emergency powers to justify it, but judges have ruled that goes beyond what the law allows. The government is now appealing, and the case is heading straight to the Supreme Court, and that's where the trillion-dollar question comes in. If the Supreme Court rules against the administration, the government may have to refund all the tariffs collected since this rule took effect. Treasury officials say that number could hit $1 trillion. That would be the largest refund effort in US history. Importers would probably have to file claims, dig through old records, hire lawyers, and submit paperwork to get their money back. Some companies are already being approached by firms offering to buy their potential refund rights, almost like cashing in a lottery ticket early for a smaller guaranteed payout. So what does all of this mean for regular people like you and me? First, if you're shopping internationally, expect higher costs. That $20 gadget you spotted online might end up costing you $35 or $40 once tariffs and shipping fees are added in. Second, small businesses are especially vulnerable. Many rely on affordable overseas suppliers, and these unexpected fees could put them out of business. And third, on a national scale, this raises a huge question. Are tariffs like this really protecting jobs, or are they pushing people away from buying and selling altogether? And don't forget, if the Supreme Court rules that refunds are owed, that's a massive amount of money leaving government accounts. At a time when the national debt is already sky high, that could mean cuts in other areas, or more borrowing, both of which come with costs of their own. On the flip side, if no refunds are given and the tariffs stay, then consumers and businesses just keep absorbing higher prices. Either way, there's no easy fix here. Now, if the Supreme Court upholds Trump's rule, things might stabilize in terms of clarity, but the tariffs and higher costs are here to stay. If the court strikes it down, we enter uncharted territory with refunds, lawsuits, and paperwork chaos. And the uncertainty alone is already hurting both consumers and businesses. So what do you think? Should tariffs like this be used to protect American jobs, even if it means higher prices for consumers? Or should keeping costs low take priority? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I'd really like to hear your take.